don't even know where to start with this. My name is Denisha, aka Softly Spooked. Most of you are not going to be familiar with me. That's a-okay. I was thinking about this last night while I was trying to sleep because I procrastinate sleep. I'm the worst. And I was like, okay, I want to make a video about some of my favorite books, my credentials. Just kidding. My cat's trying to get into, I have a book stack. I have a book stack. My cat usually sleeps in these chairs, so he's a little upset with me right now. That's okay. I was thinking about this last night and I was like, I kind of want to talk about some of my favorite books that I've been reading and maybe I can kickstart myself back into reading. I've been in a little bit of a reading slump, if I'm being honest, and I miss it. And one of my favorite YouTubers slash Twitch streamers, she was doing a readathon for July and I was like, oh yeah, I'll do it. Work happened. And so I haven't been able to read. So I was like, maybe going through some of my favorite books will help me to reignite. I have one of these that I'm about to start rereading because the author's working on the sequel and I'm really hyped for it. So I do have my Goodreads here with all of my favorites because it's been a while since I've read these books. And I say a while, it's probably been like a year or less for some of them, but I just kind of want to go through and talk about a little bit of why they're my favorite. The first book in my stack, Of Beast and Burden by Kelsey Kicklighter. This is the book that got me to fall in love with reading. I read this January 17th, 2024. I was not a very big reader up until that moment. I had like the Barnes & Noble's fancy collector's editions that my friends had gifted me for my birthday. And then I had the entire Witcher collection. I got that for COVID, but I wasn't a really big reader. And so they just kind of were trophies. And I picked this up on Libby, the library app, and blew through it and fell in love. The little synopsis on the back here is a fae girl with a human heart. I was hooked. A seelie queen with a penchant for stealing mortals and an unseelie king who will have to give up his throne. There is tension, there is romance, a little bit. We haven't really, we've gotten our toes wet. Got a little sneaky peek. And I don't know, I really loved this book. Really gripped me. And I want to say I found it on TikTok and I want to say somebody mentioned it was like Labyrinth vibes. I don't exactly remember how I found it. I want to say TikTok, or maybe I was just scrolling through Libby. I don't really know. But Of Beast and Burden by Kelsey Kicklighter. I cannot wait for the sequel, and she's working on it because I follow her on TikTok. We follow each other. It's a little bit of a fangirl moment for me, I'm not gonna lie. And I've seen some spoilers and I'm so excited. Kelsey, if you by chance see this, keep being awesome. Just keep being awesome. So if you couldn't tell, I do love that book. That helped me get back into reading. I was not a very avid reader up until I finished that book, and then I became this huge, like, I have to read. What have I been missing? Don't hold favorites. Like, I don't hold a lot. You know what I mean? I'm not critical with my books. Like, I enjoy everything I've read. I think there's only been one book that I haven't enjoyed, and we're not going to talk about that today. The next book I would like to talk about, if I can find it, the next book is My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. I have not read a single thing by Grady Hendrix that I did not love so far, and by that I mean I've read 2 books. I've read this, and I've read the Southerners Book Club Guide to Seeing Vampires. I always fuck up the name. This I was obsessed with. I know some people kind of don't like it and they feel like it's a little slow and stuff like that, but again, this was, I think, like my first intro into horror books, and I have no No complaints. I thought it was beautifully written. It kept me gripped. It's not for everybody, and I get that, but like, look at the cover. It's like VHS style and like staff pick, a novel, be kind, please rewind. Obsessed. High school sophomores, Abby and Gretchen, have been best friends since 4th grade, but after an evening of skinny dipping goes disastrously wrong, Gretchen begins to act different. She's irritable and moody, and bizarre incidents keep happening whenever she's nearby. It's very 80s. And I think the Vampires Book Club and this book take place in the same universe, just different people. I could be mistaken. Really loved this book. Really loved it. It was a great intro into horror for me. Next, also my shelf back here looks lacking because that happens to be my favorite shelf, and so I had to pull from it. But you know, we make do. My library is a work in progress. Ignore this side. That is a mess. We don't talk about her. Next, I don't have a physical copy of this book. I will insert a picture. It is The Crow by James O'Barr, the graphic novel that is beautifully tragic. I love the movie. I watched the movie with one of my best friends. He showed me a lot of films. Let's be real here. Shaggy, if you're watching this, thanks, bud. I don't have a physical copy. I need to get a physical copy. And technically I had gotten the physical copy for him as a gift, and then I read it. So it was a favorite. Loved the movie. There's another book I didn't grab that I have to grab. I'll grab it in a minute. It was fantastic. If you're familiar with the movie, then you're familiar with the book. If you're familiar with the graphic novel, you're probably familiar with the movie. I have not seen the remake. Not too sure if I want to watch that. Let's see. Next. What do I have? Ooh. One Dark Window by Rachel Gillick? I'm not sure. Either way, this book and its sequel, Two Twisted Crowns, are you kidding me? The best duology I have ever, the only duology I have ever read, to be honest, but the best. This, I flew through this in a day, and and again, most of these I've read them on Libby or Kindle, and then I've gotten the physical copies. That's how this has happened, with the exception of 3, because there's another one on my shelf I'll have to grab. Anyway, these, fantastic. It's got magic, it's got monsters, it's got like a tarot card magic system that I thought was just absolutely stunning. A maiden must unleash the monster within to save her kingdom in this dark, lush, gothic fantasy debut. When I tell you it is dark, it is luscious, it is gothic, it is perfect. I want more. The ending was beautiful, but I want more. Beautiful. Read these. Can you tell I'm not very good at this whole like bookish review thing? I am not a book person. I am not a book talker. I am not a book tuber. I am just somebody who loves books. Next, the third one of this comes out when August 5th. This video will hopefully be posted by then, and I'm gonna have to get it. But Assistant to the Villain, Apprentice to the Villain, and soon Accomplice to the Villain. I'm so freaking hyped. These were cute, these were witty, these were funny, these were romance-packed, action-packed, sword fights, you name it, magical systems, it's here. I love these. I even have, is he on this side? I don't know where he is. I have Kingsley somewhere. Where is Kingsley? He's back there. He's hiding back there. Let me zoom in. Kingsley, there he is. And then I have a cat doing cat things. These are fantastic. I cannot wait for the sequel. When is a sequel, but it's a third. The third installment, we'll go with that. I can't wait. Assistant wanted, notorious high-ranking villain seeking loyal, level-headed assistant for unsuspected office duties. Okay, cool. Evie feels like she can't do anything, and she falls in love, we'll just say. But like, look, yeah, the cover is what had me here. You got little Kingsley. Of course, you don't know his name, so spoiler. And like, look at all the books. I don't know, this was just such a good series to me. Yeah, sprayed edges. I think this was my first ever sprayed edges book, which unfortunately it doesn't match, but that's okay. Loved these. Ready for the third. August 5th. Next on my list, The Labyrinth novelization, written by A.C.H. Smith with illustrations from Brian. It is literally the movie right here in a book. The movie came first. It is a collector's item for me. The Labyrinth is one of my favorite movies. In fact, I don't know if it'll span around. It won't. There's a Labyrinth poster right there. It is my prize possession. I love The Labyrinth. Sarah has 13 hours to save her brother from the land where everything seems possible and nothing is what it seems. If you're familiar with the movie, you're going to be familiar with this. I searched everywhere for this. I also have the same version in The Dark Crystal, but I haven't actually read that one. I need to read it. This also comes with illustrations, which I am obsessed with. Labyrinth was a childhood favorite movie of mine, and it was my awakening. I think if you're a fantasy girly, you know. So I've had this for a few years. In fact, I've had it since right before the world shut down for COVID. But my birthday was in a few weeks ago, July 9th, and one of my best friends got me this. And if you're familiar with the movie, you're familiar with this. And not only is this a beautiful cover replica, but it is full print. This is the novel in the replica of the movie. Sarah holds this book in the very beginning of the movie when she's reading from it, and she says, "Give me the child." I don't know where this came from. It was a birthday gift. It is a prized possession. I love it. I cannot believe I have the book in my collection. Are you kidding me? Insane. So, Labyrinth, top notch. If you loved the Labyrinth, I have 2 books for you that I recommend. My grubby little fingers have messed up this one. The first one, My Throat, an Open Grave. At first you're like, Denisha, how is this Labyrinth related? They say he's the devil, the lord of the wood, with gnarled skin like the roots of trees and eyes of a wolf, ready to open his jaw and swallow a young girl whole. Now, I think this was the first one I read out of the 2 that are Labyrinth vibes. It was beautifully written. I really love this. I actually cried. It's Labyrinth meets folk horror, darkly romantic, tale of a girl who wishes her baby brother away. You know, we're getting the similarities here, the symmetries, but it's beautiful. I recommend it. My Throat, an Open Grave. I read this on, I think I read it on Libby. I saw it on TikTok, read it on Libby. Recommend. The next Labyrinth book, which is getting a sequel. I don't know how many parts. Now, I will say, I have the copy that was self-published. She has now been picked up by a traditional publisher, so congratulations to her. And you're gonna, if you're a Labyrinth fan, you're gonna get this reference right away. Until the World Falls Down by Jordan. I don't want to fuck up your last name, but I think it's Lynn? Until the World Falls Down. Look at this insanely beautiful cover. It is Labyrinth / Beauty and the Beast, but make it her own. You know what I'm saying? She can either give up her freedom or she can give up her heart. 8 hours, she's going to lose one of those 2 forever. You have 13 hours in which to solve the labyrinth before your baby brother becomes one of us forever. Just kidding. There's no baby brother in this. There's no baby brother. But it still gives you that dark, broody, Jareth loves Sarah vibes. Chef's kiss. Instant favorite. I devoured this on Kindle and then was like, I need a physical copy. Found out that the author's making a sequel.Got the physical copy and I was like, she's kind of thick. She's a little thick girl. Like, I did not realize. Compared to My Throat, an Open Grave, she chunky. I love her. I was very impressed that I actually read this much. Again, not a very big reader, but I'm coming into it, you know, and there's over 500 pages in this, and I read it. I devoured it. Devoured it. That's something for me. You know what I'm saying? So those are my Labyrinth recommendations. Those are my favorites. Off of that, back on regular scheduled programming, something a little different. I really loved, and you'll see that, I mean, I've only had 2 graphic novels, The Crow and then Unfamiliar. These are so cute. Unfamiliar Volume 1, Unfamiliar Volume 2. Volume 1 is a little bit thicker. These were beautifully short reads. I love the artwork. I read these on Libby. Well, the first one I read on Libby. The second one I ended up buying the copy before it was available on Libby. If you love all things cute, spooky, witchy, you're gonna love these. They're cute, they're simple, and who doesn't love that artwork? It's beautiful. These are by Haley Newsome. So the next book I want to talk about that I read, this was also a gift from me. One of the same friend who got me the Labyrinth book actually got me this, and we were all 3, because we're a little trio. Shout out to my Squid Squad. We were all 3 at Target one day, and I don't even remember. I think I just picked up the book because of the edges. I really liked the like black on purple. And then little sneaky bought it for me, and I had no idea. But this is Gothicana by, I'm not even going to pronounce that because I will fuck it up. But the silver-eyed devil of Vernamore, the dark god who played like it was both a blessing and a curse. her multifaceted dark academia gothic romance. Did I say more? Purple sprayed edges. Beautiful. It is a like professor, college student, magic student kind of thing. And she goes to the university. And so it's a yeah, just read it. I think this is a standalone. I would love more. I would absolutely love more. I fell in love with a couple. I want to say I cried. It's been a while, but I really liked this. Next, this is a series that I found on Libby. The first one is Belladonna. The second one is Foxglove. The third one is Wisteria. I don't have a copy of that yet. I'm waiting for it to come out on paperback because I already have these in paperback. So I need to continue in paperback. So Wisteria, and then the fourth one, which hasn't released yet, is going to be Holly. These are by Adeline Grace. Oh my, Death is your personified love interest. And then Fate, his brother, Death, Fate. Excuse me. I can't even put into words. It's a romantic gothic fantasy and it's beautiful. I don't leave reviews. I usually just kind of give myself a rate system and go with that just because nobody's looking at my reviews. You know what I mean? Maybe I can see what I said on Belladonna. I said I was engulfed in the story and cannot wait to read the rest of the series. It is a highly romantic gothic infused world of wealth, desire, and betrayal. Orphaned as a baby, 19-year-old has been raised with a string of guardians, each one more interested in her wealth than herself. So Belladonna, Foxglove, Wisteria, and soon to be Holly. Read them. Also, look at this artwork. It is stunning. I love these. Read this on Libby, needed a trophy, got the physical copy, fell in love with it, and now I need the rest of them. Simple as that. And then the last book that I will talk about is one that I had solely picked up because of the cover. I was one of those people, you know what I mean? See the cover, gotta grab it. It's mine, doesn't matter. Yeah, solely picked it up at Barnes & Noble because of the cover, and that is Celine Shade, Resurrectionist for Hire. This is by Victoria Dalfy. I'm gonna fuck that up. This is book one. There is supposed to be more. There have not been more yet. I am hopeful. It is a dark fantasy. Look at this cover. I literally only bought it for the cover. And so I was like, I'm never gonna read it. And then I was like, no, let me read it. I said, I enjoyed this. Some parts were hard to get me engrossed. Midway, I was solidly hooked, ready for the sequel. And I read this year. Actually, I read this in April. So, fairly recently. Yeah. It has a resurrectionist for hire. Apparently, you can hire resurrectionists. And what this means is if you are about to die or you have somebody who has passed on, you can hire a resurrectionist to bring them back to life. However, this is kind of looked down upon. Well, Miss Celine Shade gets enlisted by the police department for some other stuff. There is a little, it's like we got our toes dipped in it, but there wasn't a whole lot. I think that's what I was missing. But it's spooky, it's brooding, it's moody. It gives me like, I feel like it would be a film noir if it was ever in a movie. You know what I mean? I loved it. It was really good. So those are my favorite books, my recommendations. All of those were read within the past year and a half. And like I said, I'm not a very big reader. I'm working on it. I'm trying. So if you have any recommendations, please let me know. If you have any you think I would vibe with, please let me know. And if you've read these books, let me know what you think. Now, of course, not everything is going to be for everybody. Everybody has their own personal preferences. And that's the great thing about these fantasy books is we can just go wherever we want. That's pretty much all I got. I don't know. Maybe I'll do another one of these. Maybe I'll do like a least favorites. I don't know. I don't have a least. Well, I have a couple. But anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for being kind. Thank you for being awesome. Thank you for letting me into this bookish world. I will see you in the next one. Stay spooky.